This is your Q&A time, writing at 240 words per minute. Your proper names are Gary, Lisa Waite, Margaret Steele, Gary Stone, 6th Avenue East, Cheyenne, Wyoming, Wendy's, Cheyenne, and Spokane. Ready? Gary, my name is Lisa Waite, and I represent the plaintiff in this case, Margaret Steele. Now, just to kind of clarify what we're doing here, have you ever had your deposition taken before?
No, not that I know of.
During the course of the deposition, I'll be asking you questions, and you'll be giving me answers. It's important for you to answer audibly so that the court reporter can take down your answer instead of a nod of the head.
Okay.
Also, if you don't understand my question, please ask me to rephrase it so that we are communicating. I don't want to have any confusion on the record, and you don't either, because if that occurs, I can bring it up later if need be and ask you why it is you're testifying differently at that time than you did here today. Could you state your name for the record?
Gary Stone.
And your address?
404 6th Avenue East, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Gary, how old are you right now?
27.
When did you begin working for Wendy's?
1982.
And in what capacity?
A crew person.
Are you presently employed as a manager at Wendy's?
Yes.
And there's been some reference to the fact that you're leaving your Cheyenne position.
Yes, my last day is the 23rd.
Of March?
Yes.
Where are you going?
Spokane.
Are you going to be a manager in Spokane?
No.
What will be your position there?
I'm not working for Wendy's.
What are you going to do in Spokane?
I don't know yet.
Why are you leaving your position with Wendy's?
Because I'm tired of it.
You understand that you're being deposed today in reference to an accident which Margaret Steele allegedly suffered on June 17 of 1990 at the Wendy's in Cheyenne?
Yes.
Were you working on that date?
Yes, I was.
I believe in response to interrogatories, you also gave the name of 3 other employees that you thought were working on that date.
I'm sure if you have them down, that's probably the names of them that were. I just don't remember right offhand.
What are the different positions in the Wendy's restaurant?
We have a dining room person, and then we have a salad bar position, and then we have several positions on our back line: grill, sandwiches, register, french fry station.
When the employees are listed at these positions, do they hold them for the whole day?
Normally, yes.
What are the job duties of the dining room person?
To clean tables, take care of any customer needs, clean the floors, clean the carpet, clean windows.
Do they stay in the dining room area throughout?
Generally, yes. There are times when they have to go to the back room.
Where's the salad bar located at the Wendy's? It's in the dining room area?
Yes.
Would either of the backline employees have had any reason to be in the dining room area?
They could have been out there for some unknown reason.
Would it be something that would be part of their job duty to be out there?
Not normally.
Can you think of any situation that would have pulled them off the back line into the dining room?
If they needed help out in the dining room.
Help in terms of what?
Cleaning tables.
And that would have been at a busy time or something?
Yeah.
Where are you when you're working? Do you mill throughout the whole restaurant?
We're required to go out into the dining room every 15 minutes, but normally we're on the back line.
Did you actually go out every 15 minutes?
Probably not.
What would have prevented you?
Too busy back on the back line.
When are your busy times of the day?
It's usually between 12 and 1 and between 5:30 and 6:30.
If it were a busy time, would it be unlikely that the backline employees would have been out in the dining room area?
It depends. You might have been busy out in the dining room and need them out there, and been busy in the back line and needed them back there.
Is there any procedure in the Wendy's restaurant itself for filing customer complaints?
Yes, there is.
Could you explain that?
Depends on what they're complaining about. If they're complaining about an accident, we have a customer accident report form that we would fill out.
What if it's a complaint about service or anything?
Then I usually go out and talk to them and see what the problem is and see how I can make them happy.
Have you ever received any customer complaints on these little forms regarding the chairs?
Not that I can recall.
As a manager, do you work a certain shift every day, or does it vary?
It varies.
From what to what?
Sometimes I work like from 7 to 5, or from like 10 to 8, or from like 3 to close.
Those would be the 3 shifts that you would work?
Yes.
Is there a record kept of the shifts that you work?
No.
Are you paid by salary as a manager?
Yes.
Who decides what shift you're going to work?
I do.
Do you just get up that day and decide when you're going to go in?
No, I make a schedule.
Do you keep a copy of your schedule?
No.
Do you have to send a copy of your schedules to anyone else?
Yes, once a month. I send all of those to the home office.
Could you describe the construction of the chairs at the Wendy's restaurant? Basically, what I want you to do first is tell me what they look like. Well, actually, could you draw it for me?
Sure, that would be best. I can't draw very good. Anyway, this is the back of the chair, and it's got one little round place. And then there's a seat there, and it's a padded seat, and then it's got 4 legs.
Is it a round seat or square seat?
It's a round seat.
What's the seat made out of?
It's just something soft, like vinyl.
That would be the seat pad itself?
Yes, the seat pad.
Then what about the legs?
The legs are wood, and this brace here is wood too.
The arch?
The arches, yes.
How are the legs attached to the seat, if you know?
I don't really know how they're attached to the seat. I don't know if they're screwed in or glued in.
Are all the seats alike?
Basically, yes.
What's different about them?
I do know that there's a couple different brands of chairs out in the dining room.
Do they all have vinyl seats and wooden legs?
Yes, right.
Is this the same type of chair that was in the Wendy's in 1990?
Yes.
Do you know how long Wendy's has been using this type of chair?
Ever since they've been in operation.
And that's been since when?
To tell you the truth, I don't know the exact length of time, but at least 10 years.
As long as you've worked? This is your Q&A time writing at 225 words per minute. Your proper names are Noel, Cougar, and Kathy. Ready? All right, so you are right there next to the intersection?
Yes, the next light, we were between one light and the next light was the one where the cemetery is.
Over on the right-hand side as you go north?
Yeah, it's a cemetery because that's where the policeman took us to fill out his reports.
So you were on a downhill grade when the accident occurred?
Well, sort of. See, there's two knolls there, and we were kind of on that second knoll, like, we was kind of on that little knoll there, like. It's kind of a little knoll, if you will notice, when you are going north there. I travel it so much. That's the reason I know about it.
The knolls that you are talking about aren't high enough to block anyone's view of traffic, are they?
No.
You can see a considerable distance?
Oh, yes.
In both directions?
If you were on the downhill side, you might not see real far back to that other light back there, but you can see pretty well the directions both ways, yes.
When you stopped at the light, where were you in line?
Center line.
But were you the first car, third, fourth, or do you know?
I was the first car.
Can you describe the woman's vehicle who was stopped in front of you?
I know it was a light yellowish, but maybe about this shade of color here. As far as what kind it is, I couldn't tell you.
Did it seem to be a newer car, older car?
Probably older.
The report indicates a Cougar. Does that ring a bell?
That's the stalled car.
Was she struck at all?
When I come out and around her to keep from colliding with her, I caught the left tail end of her car.
You certainly didn't disable her vehicle.
No.
You just scratched it or dented it a little.
No, I didn't hurt her vehicle. In fact, it was my bumper that had been mangled that really caught it.
Well, okay, let me go back now. When you stopped at the intersection, you were in the center lane first in line. Did you stay in the center lane from that point forward until you had to stop for what we will call the Cougar vehicle?
Yes.
Describe what her position was. Can you remember anything along the sides there that I could use to find it?
To find the place of the accident?
Yes.
I travel it and I know the spot so well, probably just a block further. She was just sitting there.
No brake lights?
No, nothing to indicate that she was even stopped.
And she was dead in the middle of your lane?
Dead in the middle.
Okay, now tell me again. What did you do when you realized that she was not moving?
I was coming up on her. There was no lights to indicate that she was stopped. Well, I put my brakes on. I hit the brake and I looked in my rearview mirror and told Kathy that there's nobody behind us. You know, just the first thing you think of is when you put your brakes on, you think, thank goodness, there's nobody behind us.
And when you put your brakes on, what did you slow down to? 5 or 10 miles an hour or something? I'm not suggesting, I just want to know.
Probably, it could have been around 5.
And the speed limit was what there, around 30?
The speed limit there is 45.
And how far do you know did you slow down?
Well, I put the brake on and I could have come to a complete stop, but I don't think I did. I think I creeped a little bit further, but I put the brakes on hard enough that I had left some tire marks there at that point. But I creeped up on her a little more.
How close were you when you came to a stop?
Finally came to a dead stop.
Yes.
I would say about a car length behind her.
And this was the first time you think you came to a dead stop?
No, this is the second time I know I came to a dead stop.
Back up then. I thought you had told me that you hadn't stopped all the way.
When I first spotted her and hit my brake, I don't believe I came to a complete dead stop. I could have, but I don't think I did. I was probably rolling so slow that I don't think I came to the complete stop the first time I spotted her.
How far back was that?
Probably about 3 or 4 car lengths.
And then you crept forward and stopped entirely?
Yes.
How long did you sit there?
Probably maybe no longer than 5 seconds.
And what were you doing while you were sitting there?
Watching traffic on both sides to go out and around her. When I spotted her, it was impossible for me to go to the right lane or go to the left lane because of traffic.
That's why you stopped?
That's why I had to stop, because I could not get around her and she was not moving. And there was no way for me to go to either side without creating an accident.
Okay, now, do you think you sat there 5 seconds or was it less?
At the most. The traffic had eased on the left side and I was getting ready to go out and around her when the car collided in the rear end of me.
Had you moved?
From the second complete stop?
Yes.
No.
You were getting ready to move, but you had not taken your foot off the brake?
No.
Did you have your foot on the brake at that point?
Yes.
Well, she must have hit you at an angle from behind.
Yes.
I mean, she was not coming from directly behind you.
No, she was switching lanes, she said.
Did you have any communication with this woman that was in front of you before you were hit from the rear? Were you honking your horn, leaning out the window, screaming at her or anything?
No. My window was rolled up until she came and spoke to me right after the accident and said that she was sorry. I just remember her and the baby in her arms, to tell you the truth. I don't even remember if I said anything to the woman at all or not.
Okay, can you describe for me the path that your car followed after it? This is your second Q&A time writing at 225 words per minute. Your proper names are Mr. Schwait, Boot Hill, Don, and Don Schwait. Schwait? Schwait?
Mhm.
Schwait. Ready?
It's easier to write.
Yeah, oh, you're right. Now, you stated that Mr. Schweit came into the Boot Hill about 9 o'clock that night. Is that right?
It was about 9 when they first came in. Yes, sir.
Okay, now, how was it that you remembered that particular time?
They were a little loud, no more than having fun at first.
How many people were in the party when they came in?
3 guys and a girl.
Now, you said that you cut off the party from drinking about 11 o'clock. Is that right?
Probably a quarter to, something like that. Quarter to 11, somewhere in there.
Did you go over and tell them they couldn't drink anymore?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, you didn't have a waitress go over and tell them that they weren't being served anymore?
No, sir, that wasn't their job.
And after you stopped their drinking, did you tell them to leave at the same time?
No, sir. I let them finish what drinks they had in front of them.
Okay, while they were finishing their drinks, is that when they came over and talked to you?
They came over and got mad at me, yes.
And was that when you told them to leave?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, and did you give them a reason why you wanted them to leave at that time?
Yes, sir. For harassing our customers, shaking their beers, spraying beer all over the place, breaking ashtrays, breaking glasses.
Is that what was actually happening?
That's what was going on at that table, yes, sir.
Okay, did anybody come up and complain to you?
The waitress and one of the customers they were picking on about a leather jacket. There was a young man in there that was wearing I guess you might call it a sports jacket. It wasn't a leather motorcycle jacket, and they were giving him a hard time about it.
And he came up and complained to you?
Yes, sir.
Who was harassing that person?
It was him and his buddy Don and his friend, the heavier set guy. I don't know who he was.
Now, when you told them to leave, did they leave the bar?
Not right away, no.
Did they eventually leave?
Yes, for about 10, 15 seconds. Then they walked right back in the door.
Okay, how many doors do you have to walk out to get outside?
2 doors.
Okay, did he?
The way that he was going out.
Did they walk through both doors?
A couple times, yes.
The first time, did he walk through both doors to go outside?
Yes.
Then they came back in?
Yes, sir.
What did they say to you that time?
Just wanted to know why I cut them, why I was being an asshole.
And then they left again after that?
Right. I told them that I didn't want to talk to them anymore, that I didn't have to talk to them. I wished they would just leave.
Okay. How many people came back into that bar?
Well, there was kind of like they were trying to...
I asked you how many people came back into the bar.
The 2 guys, Don and his friend.
Okay, it would be a lot easier if you listened to my questions and answered them. Did you know Don Schwait before this?
Never met him before, no.
Okay, now you referred to him on a taped interview by name. How do you know who he was?
That was a name they had when I filled out the complaint.
You said they went outside a second time. Did they come back in after that?
Yes, sir.
The same 2 persons as before?
And a little guy.
Okay, what did they say this time?
Same thing. Wanted to know why they had to leave.
Okay, and what did you do?
That's when I kind of gave them a little bit of hand out the door.
Okay, now you pushed these guys out the door, is that correct?
I didn't push them. No, sir. I didn't.
Okay, how many guys did you push out the door?
I had 2 of them by the arm and I walked them out the door. Yes, sir.
Where exactly were you holding on to them?
On their arms.
You were standing between them?
Yes, sir.
And how many doors did you walk through?
2.
Okay, what happened to the third person?
He walked outside just before that.
Okay, now, when you pushed them out the door this time, where were they standing?
Inside the little entryway, not the indentations or whatever it is.
And where were you standing?
Right beside the 2 double doors.
You were standing on the opposite side of the door from where they were standing?
Right. I was standing inside going out.
Are those doors glass?
They're plastic, so they don't shatter.
Okay, can you see through them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now was it at this point that Mr. Schweit started urinating in the entryway?
I went back inside and went over to the other exit door to make sure that they left. I was looking out a little window like this.
Okay, where were you standing when you saw Mr. Schweit urinating?
Inside the bar, right by the exit door.
Okay, which exit door was this?
There's the front entryway as you're inside the bar. Well, as you're looking at the bar, there's one exit door on the left-hand side. There's just one door that goes out. You can't go into the bar in it. You can just go out. I was standing at that door.
Was that the door that Mr. Schweit was urinating in front of?
Inside the entryway, yes.
You were watching him do this through the little window in that door?
Yes, sir.
How far away from the door was he?
Close enough to urinate on it.
How far was he from the building?
The building stops here and the entryway is inside, so I guess he was inside.
Okay, was it at this point that he pulled out his knife?
Yes, sir.
Okay, while he was still urinating,
No, sir, after he was done.
he stopped
Yes.
and he pulled out the knife from his back pocket?
Yes, sir.
Is that his right-hand pocket?
Yes, sir, right-hand pocket.
Could you see the knife from where you were standing?
Yes, sir.
And would you describe that knife for us?
It was a butterfly knife and it was dark in color.
What's a butterfly knife?
The handle splits and folds.
And at this point, was he trying to get you to come outside?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and